on a Aurora web camera in Finland yesterday. And we can see the light of the moon now shining on it. We can even watch it rotate. Oh, look, there's the stripe from the striped planet passing in front. And look at there's two stripes. I'm guessing it was this planet.
Very fascinating. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you for the photos. I'm going to...
Instructions are at the end of this video telling you how to accept Jesus into your life. The glare-producing equipment is capable of instantly expanding into a gigantic glare that can cover much of the sky to successfully hide any nearby planets within this bright glare.
Yeah, look.
These images just came in yesterday from the south-facing FAA weather camera located in Sitka, Alaska. The first frame is very important for viewers to see because the celestial bodies you are about to see are covered by clouds in the first frame, not visible to the camera or the naked eye. The reason that this is important is because it proves that what you are about to see cannot possibly be a lens flare of the sun. A lens flare of the sun cannot go behind clouds or other structures in a photo or video. So as we move through these frames, we see something that looks like a striped planet, accompanied by a smaller red companion planet. 25. Jesus tells us that we will see signs in the sky when the end of the age is near. As people, even messengers of the Lord, displaying anger and using questionable language in public. All they are doing is hand-feeding the enemy. Months ago. Our first video was captured by the west-facing weather camera in Chilkat, Alaska. Now, we've seen the same object before. It's simply hand-feeding the enemy. The enemy gets high on being spoon-fed lots of negativity. Late to sleep on my mother's knitted prayer shawl that I had placed on my pillow. I was completely ruined by my parents.
Hey, that was a month ago. This is 3 months ago. This is another capture that she found on the FAA weather cams.
Object before. We know this cannot be a lens flare of the sun for several reasons. The most obvious reason is its fast rotation. Our sun...
Let's go back.
All of the images in this video were taken just a couple months ago. Our first video was captured by the west-facing weather camera in Chilkat, Alaska. Now, we've seen the same object before, and we know this cannot be a lens flare of the sun for several reasons. The most obvious reason is its fast rotation. Our sun only rotates once every 27 Earth days. This is just one of many biblical signs that we are living in the very last days. In the Bible's book of Luke.
Now, if we go back on her channel, you can see the same planetoids, whatever they are. Some of them are dimpled, some of them are red, some are bluish, some have stripes. Let's go one more. Let's go maybe a year back on her channel.
One has a chance to be found worthy to escape the coming wrath. No one is excluded, no matter what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter. You can be forgiven for anything.
Okay, now this is from 2021, and she's going to give you a comparison from another capture that she had from 2020.
I want everyone to take note of the multiple deep craters on this object, because in a minute I'm going to show you a picture of how the same object looked last year, before our Earth went through an asteroid debris field that should have pummeled parts of our planet to smithereens. We know for absolute certainty that this cannot possibly be a lens flare of our sun. A lens flare of the sun is a small picture, a reflection of our sun, and therefore it must resemble the sun. this object is hidden behind the clouds, further proving it cannot be a lens flare of the sun. Lens flares can never go behind other objects in a picture or video. If you look at the comparison between the current image of this object and these images from April, they are quite different. Now,
if that doesn't make you say, nothing will. This is a good possibility. I've not heard that theory before. I've heard it here.
this object is very heavily cratered. It's been hit many, many times by asteroids.
Now you might ask, how does she know? Well, because she watches these cameras faithfully. She's on these cameras and looking at this daily. All right, let's go back on her channel 2 years ago.
It's April 17th, 2020. Today we will be looking at more meteorites flying close overhead, some of them exploding. We will also look at where we are in relation to the magnetic celestial, very obvious. Jesus discusses the last days in Luke chapter 21, son. For several reasons, we know that this celestial orb, viewed from Sitka, Alaska, cannot possibly be a lens flare of the sun. The unique crater pattern makes its fast rotation very obvious.
Now, I first started down this rabbit hole because of Nibiru. And as much as we have all forgotten about Nibiru and been poo-pooed away from the subject, the idea is that that planet with its accompanying celestial bodies was going to come into our solar system, go around our planet, and slingshot back into space. According to the 12,000 year time frame that you hear about the orbit of Nibiru around our sun. Now, let's listen to her, how she explains it coming into our solar system and out again.
Magnetic celestial anomaly is traveling, represented by the blue orb. As you can see, it's currently between the Mars and Earth orbit paths, heading toward the sun. It moves very slowly in relation to the rest of the objects in our solar system. It will swing around our sun and then head back out of our solar system. This magnetic object is so powerful that it bends light, space, and time. Earth will be
Is that not the definition of a black hole? And where have we heard that before? Are scientists talking about a black hole now?
nothing close enough to this object in mid-May. It has tended to experience a dramatic increase in earthquakes. Located spots on the Earth will experience incredibly high temperatures that are not conducive to life. This magnetic object
that they have found the best evidence yet that a huge ninth planet exists at the outer limits of the solar system. It's called Planet X, and it's about 10 times the mass of Earth, or roughly the size of Neptune. The planet supposedly orbits far out from the sun on a highly elliptical path, which takes 10 to 20,000 years to make one full circuit, and it's way out there too, somewhere between 200 and 1,200 times the distance from the sun to Earth. But don't get too excited yet. No one has actually seen this planet. The entire argument about its existence is theoretical. It's based on the observations of 6 objects in the Kuiper Belt, the large cloud of icy bodies at the edge of the solar system. The way these objects move around the sun seems to indicate that they're being affected by something big, aka Planet X. That's about all the evidence we have, though.
Findings showed the planet was on course for a catastrophic rise in temperatures this century. Here's our science editor, David.
If the solar system possesses an additional 9th planet that resides well beyond the orbits of the known planets.
When we looked at the outer solar system, we realized that while most of the very distant objects, these objects beyond Neptune, beyond Pluto, most of these objects, they all go around the sun and they're all sort of pointing off in all different directions, but the most distant objects all swing out in one direction in a very strange way that shouldn't happen. And we realized that the only way we could get them to all swing in one direction is if there is a massive planet, also very distant in the solar system, keeping them in place while they all go around the sun.
Be normal sunspot development. This early on in a solar cycle.
Show you in his footage is that every time there is one of those large eruptions, there is something that's flying
every 28 days. Like clockwork, like it has been since 2007, as it was being drawn in. Basically, the sun kind of puts it into that orbit. You know, what caused all of this? What caused all of that? So here we are today, and this object should probably be somewhere damn near right up here. And this is just the occulter. It is a black disc inside. Object that was on the left side, right there. How big it is? I don't know. You know, it's much further back behind the sun. Almost impossible to judge it. This is the object that is closer to the camera. Weird. So here it is close up. This mark right here.
All right, now I'm going to take you back to 2020, 2 years ago, just to save some time. Let's just watch a few seconds of this. You're going to have to go back to his channel and explore all on your own. I'm just bringing you some dots and connecting them. All of these people cannot be wrong. They can't be seeing things that aren't there, and there's a lot of proof coming out. So just take all of this, go explore these channels, and make your own decision. It's going to show you. He has footage of this every 28 days. Every 28 days, every month, every year. As long as he's recording. See that body come out?
Or the cloaked UFO spaceship, the cloud generator. Let's just watch, folks. Here we go. I'm going to play it on YouTube channel. Did you guys see that? It happens twice in the earlier part of this video. I want you to keep your eyes right there. Did you guys see that? And also another passing object down here, and I couldn't find any other in this video. Here in the upper right, pay no attention to the lens flare. I think this is a cell phone, but you can ask Deadpool himself. He's asked me many times to show his videos, and lo and behold, he's got something.
So, again, Jeff P.
I tell you folks that these things follow in front of the planetary systems to keep you from actually seeing it. If they would just get out of the way, you would see the planet. but they don't. They cover it up. It is August 25th, 2018, and we are on addictivesports.com site. Once again, if you've never seen this channel, I mean, that much done on my desktop. Okay, search shows out. You can see how here's this 18. Hey, CJ Blaze, how you doing? Sorry, I can't always focus on. I can't read the comments and do a video at the same time. So, I'm a YouTuber. It was Supernatural by Design, YouTube. Nothing new to see here. Oh, there's two sons. Yeah. There you go. Now's the time. I keep wondering about that, the nuclear football, too. Bruce Hunter, yeah. Again, what a sign of the times. Mr. MB3 is actually showing 2 planets, 2 suns. We've got Carlos Skywatcher. We got... It's funny, he's actually using that word. There it is, coming up on the horizon.
Time to face reality.
How long has this video been live anyways? Most people don't watch my live streams. I'll be surprised we get like 3,000 views the most.
Let's hear from the naughty beaver.
3 hours getting breakfast. I really hope that you pay close attention to what I'm saying. Now listen right there. Not daily. What I was just talking about on my show the day before. Reading a perfect darkness. Now read the article. Even though they should have 24-hour light at this time of year, which is important, the sun never goes down in the Arctic in the summer. Never. I've worked there a lot in my life. It's horrible. It's hot. The bugs. Now what would you do in a place where you know that even 3 in the morning, the sun is fulfilled? And it vanishes. Panic and chaos. That's the important part. The remote Vino Yetansky, Zygensky, and the Verk. Oh god, you just killed me with the words. Through districts in Siberia. How about that? Let's go to Siberia. Russia's other day turned into complete darkness for almost 3 hours on Friday, July the 20th, 2018. 4 days ago. On a Friday, no less. Or rip off. Looking at what you see in the sun. Does that not look consistent? I'll try and shrink it up a bit here. Does that not look consistent with what the sky should look like according to the Bible? There's a lot of people in this world that are losing their faith because it seems it would appear that certain biblical events just haven't happened when they should. Some of the things that should be happening they don't see. The day they shut off all the sun simulators, this is what the world's going to look like. They're going to drop humanity to its knees in panic and fear, all controlled, until you beg for a Messiah to come and save you. And guess when the Antichrist comes onto the scene? I am proving to you right now that is technology. Many others have done it. We've been doing it for a long time. What do you think He's lying. You're caught in the act. I'm going to explain this phenomena right now. What's important to note, this is the region. Right here. Now back out. Where have we been looking on the cameras? Every day. It's in Alaska, just across the road. I'm skipping a sun simulator away. Now I gotta describe this the best way I can for you right now as to what happened. I believe with great certainty they are hiding something up in the northwestern regions. To do that is some form of technology that's got to blind humanity and prop up the dying sun. The fading sun, the waning sun is not dying just yet. That's not 1,500, 1,700 years in the future, so we'll worry about that bridge when we get there. Here's my point. This guy, I drew a really complex diagram. What's happening in one region? There are a whole pile of these either sun reflectors, simulators, however you want to look at it, okay? Can you get your head around that? All in one region, really, really close. So possibly even the same satellite, but pointing in different directions, giving overlapping coverage. Okay? What you saw in that region, I'm going to show you right now, is the easiest way I can possibly do it. It's not that complicated. I'm going to actually, before I even do that, I want you guys to watch this video. I never did put it out. Morning, Nutty Beavers. Let's look at our cam captures this morning. So over here, it was here. You guys could see it when it turned red, and it actually rose there. Then,
That's what I'm seeing where I live. I'm seeing a light source to the left that's coming. Looks like the sun's going to come up, and it doesn't. And then as the sun comes up, that light fades away.
real sun. The problem is not there, I'm afraid. It's right here. Let's go let this play so you guys can understand what's happening. Bizarre mist in the morning. Look what happens when the sun comes up. See it in slow motion here. This is right there. When you look at this in my complex algorithmic diagram, so let me just rotate it a little bit here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Now, going back to the James Bond movie I was showing you guys. So, in the movie in the 90s, they had a crazy sun simulator. I'm just gonna bring it to just the right spot. Copy this region. So now I'm going to show you what it would look like. This is a whole pile of reflectors. All right here where this satellite is, but a whole array of them. That's what it would look like. Now do you have an understanding? They overlap. All in one region, in the region of the sun. Now what happens if camera 2 dies? Actually, not all over the whole world, but just in one region. And guess what we have? You're looking at it right in the show. Right there. Now you know. It's as simple as that. This is not smoke, this isn't forest fires. I've worked in the high Arctic when they had the biggest fire in Canadian history and burnt down most of the Arctic Circle. I was there. There's sunlight every day. There's no fire on Earth yet that can cause this. So when that sun simulator, whatever it was, it died off, that round circular region, there'd be some areas nearby that have a bit of sunlight. There's got to be somebody, and this is the sad part. There's got to be somebody somewhere down the road. So you look at Google Earth. If this was here, the only saving grace about this right now is the fact that this is in the sticks in the middle of nowhere. So this entire region, they only covered a couple of square kilometers of the Earth. That makes sense. So they're busted. Busted here. And
President Trump met with the Prime Minister of Ireland today and reminisced about the time he used to spend at his golf resort there, but he offered a very weird answer when an Irish reporter asked if Trump ever planned on visiting the country again.
I will. I love it. I love it. I have property there, and I may never get to see it again. Property there, and I may never get to see it again.
Here we can see the shockwave moving all across the surface of the sun twice, over and over again. Notice the speed of this double shockwave. We see an edge here, and we see an edge here, all the way across the surface of the moon. But the speed is exactly the speed of the traveling parallel shockwave is the same as the orbital speed of the moon. As
This image, it's not the only one of its kind. This lady sent this into Jeb. Just look what happens. Just listen to her camera while she's filming.
Here we can watch this with her camera as she pans from right to left. This double edge, we can see it starting to show here in this lens as it pulls light into this circle. Look at this double edge, the same edge passing in front of the moon.
Orbiting the sun, it will not get sucked into the sun. Basically, the sun kind of puts it into that orbit. They know something that we don't. Is there a possibility that South America may possibly be destroyed? What would happen? Would it be flooding? Would it be something, from the sun? What a black disc inside